A quiet morning turned into a wave of panic when news started circulating that something had happened to Sam Heughan within a critical 24-hour window. No one knew exactly what was going on, but the way information spread, fast, chaotic, and unconfirmed, made everything feel far more serious than a routine mishap. Fans began flooding social media with questions, theories, and anxious updates, while official sources stayed completely silent. That silence, more than anything, sparked fear. Something was clearly wrong, and people could feel it. As hours passed, the online atmosphere shifted from confusion to full-blown concern. Sam had been in the middle of an intense schedule, juggling rehearsals for Macbeth, promotional interviews, and a string of upcoming appearances. Under such pressure, any emergency, big or small, could easily spiral into something heavier. The mystery surrounding his sudden disappearance only intensified the sense of instability. Everyone expected him to appear somewhere, say something, or post a small reassurance, but nothing came. The absence itself felt like a warning. Rumors began spreading faster than facts could catch up. Some speculated it was a health scare. Others whispered about a backstage accident. A few more dramatic theories suggested an explosive personal conflict or a confrontation with paparazzi gone wrong. Each new thread added another layer of uncertainty, and in the vacuum of real information, people chose the version that scared them the most. The tension built hour by hour as each passing minute made the situation feel increasingly unusual. It was as if the entire fandom was holding its breath. Meanwhile, several entertainment outlets tried to get ahead of the story, publishing vague headlines filled with insinuations and incomplete claims. The media frenzy made everything worse. By the 12th hour, emergency involving Sam Heughan became a trending topic in multiple countries. Even unrelated celebrities were asked about it during interviews, highlighting how rapidly the situation had escalated. The confusion was no longer contained within fan circles. It had become a public spectacle. That level of attention added even more pressure on Sam's team, who still refused to release any statement. Backstage insiders painted a picture of total chaos behind the scenes. Members of his team were reportedly working around the clock, managing calls, updating partners, and trying to navigate the delicate balance between privacy and public expectation. Each decision had to be made carefully. A single misstep could ignite even more drama or damage Sam's reputation. The stakes were higher than most people understood, especially with a major theatrical project underway. This wasn't just a personal issue anymore. It carried the potential to disrupt months of preparation and commitments. By hour 18, the atmosphere had grown unbearably heavy. Fans were refreshing Sam's social profiles every few seconds, waiting for any sign of life. The collective anxiety became palpable, creating a digital storm of speculation, sympathy, and rising frustration. People wanted answers, they wanted reassurance, but most of all, they wanted to know that Sam was safe. The longer he remained silent, the more the story spiraled into dangerous territory, with some tabloids already crafting dramatic narratives around his career and private life. As the 24-hour mark approached, everything reached a tipping point. The mystery had gone on too long, and the pressure for Sam to address the situation became impossible to ignore. Supporters, colleagues, and even journalists openly urged him to speak up. Whatever had happened, it was clear that the silence couldn't last any longer. The world needed clarity, even if the truth turned out to be complicated or painful. All eyes were locked on Sam, waiting for his next move. The question now was simple but crushing. What had actually happened during those critical hours, and why had it forced Sam into such a difficult position? Something about the timing, the secrecy, and the emotional weight surrounding the situation suggested that this wasn't just an ordinary emergency. It was something deeper, something that would inevitably change the way people saw him. And as everyone held their breath, they knew one thing for certain: Sam's explanation, whenever it came, would shake the conversation all over again. When Sam finally reappeared, the internet froze. It was a simple post, just a short message paired with a quiet, almost somber photo, but the weight behind it was undeniable. His face looked tired, more serious than usual, and his words carried the tone of someone who had been pushed into speaking sooner than he wished. He didn't dive straight into explanations. Instead, he acknowledged the concern and admitted that the past day had been more intense than anyone realized. Instantly, the atmosphere online shifted from panic to stunned anticipation. Sam began revealing pieces of what had happened, though he chose his words carefully. He clarified that a sudden emergency had forced him to step away from everything, including his phone, his schedule, and all public communication. That detail alone soothed many fears, confirming he had been physically unable to respond. He made it clear that the silence was not intentional but necessary, a decision his team also protected. Still, the gravity in his tone hinted that whatever unfolded had left lingering emotional impact. He seemed shaken, but determined to address it properly. As more details emerged, reactions divided sharply across the internet. Fans poured in with relief, offering thousands of messages of support and compassion. Their biggest fear, that he was hurt or in danger, had eased, and their admiration for him only grew stronger. However, the tabloids took a different route. Some twisted his statement into sensational headlines, implying drama or conflict behind the scenes. Others speculated recklessly about the true nature of the emergency, using his openness to fuel their narratives. The mixture of empathy and exploitation created a strange, tense environment around his return. The situation escalated further when several outlets brought up Sam's past, linking this new emergency to older rumors about burnout, emotional stress, and overwhelming pressure from his demanding career. They connected dots that Sam had never drawn, painting a dramatic picture that didn't necessarily reflect reality. These stories prompted renewed debates about the cost of fame, especially for an actor constantly juggling international projects and loyal, ever-watchful fans. In a way, the crisis became bigger than Sam himself. It became a conversation about how celebrities are pushed to their limits. Despite all the noise, Sam remained composed. In his second update, he addressed the heart of the matter. The emergency had been real, unexpected, and deeply personal. He emphasized that it wasn't tied to scandal, injury, or any explosive drama. Instead, it stemmed from a health issue affecting someone close to him, an urgent situation requiring his full attention and emotional focus. He shared just enough to stop harmful rumors from spreading, but not enough to violate anyone's privacy. It was a delicate balance, and he handled it with remarkable grace. This honest clarification changed the entire tone of the conversation. Suddenly, people understood why he had vanished so abruptly and why his team had insisted on keeping things quiet. Support flooded in even stronger than before, with fans praising him for protecting the people he cared about. The narrative shifted from suspicion to compassion. Still, even this positivity came with its own complexities. The public began discussing whether Sam's workload had contributed to the stress, raising concerns about how relentless the industry can be. In the eyes of many, Sam became a symbol of the silent battles celebrities often fight. As the news settled, Sam allowed himself a moment of vulnerability. He admitted that the experience had forced him to reevaluate how he balances his career, obligations, and personal life. He acknowledged the constant pressure he feels to appear strong, composed, and in control, especially when the world expects him to deliver perfection both on-screen and off. The emergency had shaken that facade, reminding him, and everyone watching, that even the most admired figures face moments of fear and helplessness. His honesty created a powerful sense of connection, bridging the distance between star and audience. In the final part of his message, Sam expressed deep gratitude for the outpouring of support. He thanked fans not only for their patience but for sensing something was wrong even before he could explain it. He promised to continue with his commitments, but also hinted at making healthier space for himself moving forward. The ordeal had left him exhausted, but also more grounded than before. It was clear that those 24 hours had marked him in ways he didn't fully articulate, but everyone could sense their impact. The entire episode left a lasting impression across the fandom and beyond. What started as a frightening mystery had turned into a rare moment of transparency, one that showed Sam's humanity more vividly than any interview or red carpet appearance ever could. People realized how fragile public figures can be beneath the spotlight's glare. And as Sam stepped back into his routine, quieter but stronger, the world held a renewed respect for the man behind the fame. The emergency had passed, but the emotional echo it left behind would linger for much longer.